Aloha everyone, coming at you again for another Indigenous Minded YouTube journal video. This is number 53. So yeah, this past week just came off PTO, and this whole week, now it is Sunday. So the previous week I was on medicine like half the week. I finished up PTO. I finished up PTO even before that. Yeah, I finished up PTO Monday in the morning. In the afternoon I had podiatry to finish up the first like half of this block, JOSO. So I had podiatry that was available, which was good. Had some really interesting cases. Had some like calluses, some trimmings of like nails, but someone that had like pes cavus, which was interesting. And then we also talked about Charcot arthropathies, and that was great to work with a podiatrist and talk about those things. Yeah, so some pretty interesting cases. I was considering even going back, maybe even possibly during my elective, which I'm actually trying to work on right now, trying to figure out my electives coming up in a few months. I was possibly going to go away, but doesn't look like it's going to be happening, so I'm going to try to create an elective here locally in Seattle. But yeah, the rest of this week, that Tuesday, I think, was more independent studying because it was mostly canceled, that part of the block. But then I had didactics in the afternoon, which is interesting. We talked about, some of the didactics was about understanding how to create like a death certificate and try to how to properly do that. Came across it a little bit in on service, but haven't actually filled one out yet. But we kind of went through that process, which is good because it's important information if people for like autopsy, for the family, for research, especially during this pandemic time, to have that done properly. So we went over that a little bit, which was great. Wednesday was my first day back on the medicine. Was a call shift. It was a pretty busy day, but it was a good day. It was busy as far as the service, but didn't have admits. But I just kind of realized like this is the last few weeks of intern year. Kind of glad finishing on medicine just to finish it out. And then Thursday I had clinic. Clinic wasn't too bad. Had most people show up, seeing if there's anything. Had a couple telephone visits, telehealth, meds, and then one patient that was very complicated, trying to get her whole situation together. Ended up getting her neurology referral, cardiology referral, PT referral again. Someone that moved to the Seattle area recently and has a complicated medical history. Trying to get her pain under control. She has like restless legs, like tremors, so trying to get that kind of figured out. History of like this back surgery, so trying to get a neurologist involved to try to better understand what's going on, get their input. And then had someone end up getting an ultrasound because I'm concerned of like inguinal hernia, but that was pretty good. Friday I was actually able to participate in one of the marches here. We had a silent march here in Seattle. Got to go with my fiance, which was great. Got to spend our time kind of thinking about the whole movement throughout the day, and got to be a part of it from it was a march from Judkins Park all the way up to Jefferson Park, and there was about 60,000 of us, I think, strong here in Seattle. And it was a statewide silent march they were trying to organize, and very lucky to be able to be a part of that. It was a little bit rainy, but it was very powerful, and I think the message was heard well. Being silent at times can speak volumes. And then Saturday I had call again. Yesterday it wasn't too bad. We did have an admit, but then my senior ended up having to take care of it because the way our medicine service runs, we're kind of back to normal, how we normally do now. We had a whole different thing happen during the pandemic that created us to kind of separate our medicine and OB service, but now we're back to our normal, the senior rules. They kind of, depending on the day float person versus like yeah, maternal child health person. They kind of split the service. Senior that's on service during this month is like there in the morning. Then they usually sign out to like the day float person. But they ended up being there most of the day. It was pretty busy, really busy in the morning. We had a lot of pages. And something I'm going to learn about, like patient phone calls, which when I become a senior very soon. And it's a lot of things that kind of manage. We have a lot of social dispo concerns for a lot of our patients, and just realizing how much services are actually available on the weekend is kind of limited. But yeah, so I had that. Was working all day, and then I was off today, which is it's been kind of a good weather day. The weather's been getting better in general here in Seattle. I was able to get some things together done, get some emails coordinated as far as like elective, some things I'm trying to do for the new year coming in, and I was able to go visit, now they're calling it CHOP, which is the Capitol Hill Occupied Protest. It's that area. I got to check it out a little bit and see what was going on. It's also known as like the Autonomous Zone, or what was called CHAZ, but they changed it to CHOP to better reflect kind of the movement of what's happening and to not get lost of the vision of why that area is there now. But that's that whole area close to like 11th and Pine, in various blocks. So when I came up 12th and Pine, it was a good area. There was a lot of good things happening, music, people being together. It was non-violent. It's kind of like an open area. Most people were wearing masks. I was wearing my mask, just trying to distance as much as possible. But I was really lucky to be able to come at like the right time, and especially during the march too. I came at the right time when we had some drumming happening, some relatives doing some drumming and some singing, and then I came during this time. It was like perfect timing. They had a women's song, and they had like this big circle that we're trying to keep, and there was a few speeches that were great. During the march on Friday, there was great speeches as well. But I got there perfect timing. I was able to see all that, see what's happening in the area, and it's a really interesting situation though right now with that East Precinct. That police station is right now vacant, and I think they're trying to come to terms. The groups are trying to come to terms together and trying to figure out the best possibility, nonviolent way of bringing an end to everything. But it's interesting to be a part and be here at this time. It's been a pretty wild year with everything happening here in Seattle during my intern year, with the strike, COVID, this Black Lives Matter movement that's really picking up, everything that's happened with me personally, and it's a lot of learning, and that's what it's all about. And just trying to stay thankful, be grateful, and planning for things going forward with me, my family, with everyone. And have senior orientation coming up on Tuesday. I'm on call tomorrow. It'll be a pretty busy week. I will have clinic on Friday. Still looking into getting a new vehicle soon and a new place soon. We'll be in the studio for a few more months till the lease is done, and yeah, it's a lot of things to look forward to, which is great. And yeah, keeping the hope, keeping positivity, and keep it mission minded, keep it indigenous minded. All right, aloha.